Hey everybody, welcome to Hog Heaven. I'm your pig. Um, Tonight we're gonna be painting this fiend from Wizardry. I just did a line pass and clip, looks like this, over my sketch, and then I painted on top of that in Clip Studio. Or did I already say that? I did a line pass in Krita if I said clip, and then painted on top of it. Yeah. So let's finish our lines, and then we can paint the rest. Where's the other line pass there? I'll go over that a little bit. We're going to be listening to boring dungeon music because it makes the most sense. The music that you hear on a boring Sunday afternoon when you can hear just a plane fly overhead. You feel like falling asleep. That's always what I think of when I think of these types of games. I wasn't a huge fan. I love the designs. Thanks, Edgar. But watch out, that manic energy will get you sent to the gallows. Pig don't play. Pig do not play. Only in the mud. This music does very much feel like what this wizardry artwork looks like. It is very accurate. Shockingly so. I have a good update from my neighborhood. we had a neighbor, this hero lady. She called the police because a teen was near this hill in our neighborhood, and it was 11 o'clock at night. You're not getting any of the music? I can turn it up. So this teen was at the bottom of this hill, and his coffee went everywhere. Lady pulled over and she said, "Excuse me, what are you doing here?" And the teen was like, "I'm about to bomb this hill." And then she was like, "What?" And he said, I'm about to bomb this whole hill." And then she was like, "Oh my God." So she drove away and immediately got on her phone and called the police, because her dumbass thought that meant he was going to blow up a hill. I don't know. It means he skateboards and he's going to ride down the hill really fast. Maybe the kid was high. Maybe he was drunk. I don't know why he told a lady that he was going to bomb a hill. Maybe he didn't understand empathy, that she wouldn't get what the fuck he was talking about. But it's very funny. Fucking with some kids' night. Anyway. God, do I hate people who just fuck up people's nights. Ruin somebody's whole day. Anyway, the police ended up coming and arresting this kid. And then she talked to like this mom's group that my wife's a part of, and was like, "I saved the world. There was this dangerous skateboarding boy who was going to bomb a hill, and I stopped it, and he was arrested." It's like, oh. It's just funny being on the other side of that, because I skateboarded for so many years, and I just like absolutely hated people who acted that way. Like, because when you're a skateboarder, it's like, at least when I was young, you just get harassed all the time. So it was so hard before like skate parks were prevalent to find any place to skateboard without getting somebody being an ass to you. So being on the other side of that and seeing like how those people congratulate each other on like fucking with some kid, I was like, God damn it. I'm not a teen myself. I'm a teen in spirit, you know what I mean? I got teen spirit. I am 38. I haven't been a teenager for 20 years. No, it wasn't meant to be a Nirvana reference. I actually didn't mean that. I know that it sounded like that, but I didn't actually mean that. I'll give the local moms I'll cut them some slack, because what ended up happening in the neighborhood was some guy tried to kidnap these two girls down the road, and he got arrested and all. It was pretty wild. I don't think I can say some of the words that he said without getting the stream flagged or something, but he did say, he was like, I was just trying to help these young girls. I was just trying to help them. Yes, I grabbed her around her waist. And yes, I approached her when there wasn't that many people around. He said that he's like, yeah, I waited till she left the park area because there was less people around. He goes, and I approached her and I said, oh my God, you're about to fall off your bike. Let me help you. So I grabbed her around the waist, and then she screamed, which made me panic, and I screamed. He goes, and then I jumped in my car and drove away really fast. And there, the cops are just listening to this, and we just like read the report on it. And so at the end, he's like trying to say like, yeah, so I didn't really do anything. And he goes, by the way, you're probably going to find some CP on my phone, so watch out for that. It's like, holy shit, this guy's just like, that's so fucking crazy to be like, yeah, I didn't do anything, but it just so happens that you might also find a certain type of pornography on my phone. It's very much related to what I'm trying to do. It's like, how messed up are you? Anyway, so that happened. That happened down the road. It's like, holy shit. So I get it. I get being freaked out and stopping a skateboarder from skateboarding down a hill because he said he's going to bomb it. I don't know, somehow thinking that means he has a bomb. But I also hate that like witch hunt shit. It's like as soon as something bad happens, everybody's like, kill the witch. Kill every witch in the neighborhood. The skateboarders. Everybody's doing something dangerous and suspicious. I saw children walking outside. Time to stop them. This darkness just followed my life. It didn't say it happened to me. It happened down the street. Let me just tell you this. Darkness will seemingly follow your life the more people you interact with on a regular basis. You just get involved in other people's lives, and then you find out that everybody has some of that darkness in their life to some certain extent. But if you don't interact with folks enough, you don't run into it as much. It's sort of that idea of saying yes, to like adventure. The more things you say yes to, the more you end up getting exposed to. The more crazy things you end up seeing and being around. Criminals and shit. It's what it is. What 3 studies made you feel like your art improved big? Oh boy, 3? Let me tell you this. You must continually study. You can study forever. Fundamentals. Even when you're high up, you're doing stuff and working all the time, still gotta study. Everybody I know who's like a name or something in the world, who stopped trying to get better, or just had self-improvement be an aspect of their general approach, all those people, they cease growth and stagnant. That's, you don't want that for yourself. The best part about art is that you can never master it, ever. Just keep going. You fall in love with the whole thing. Let me add a caveat to what your dad said, Guy. That you'll never be good enough. I would say you'll never be good enough, and that's amazing. Because if you didn't have this finite life where you could forever grow and change and develop and learn new things, then it would be very boring. And I hope that your level that you have in your head is so grand that you never meet it. Because that would suck, to have no more mountains to climb. No more dragons to slay. You went broke last month and had to cancel Photoshop? Welcome to the free world of Krita. Or just the one-time fee of Clip Studio. Those two programs in combination are great. Grinding fundamentals is the key. Yeah, something like that. It's not really grinding, it's like, it's not this idea of going cold turkey and like, oh, I'm going to go to the gym every 2 seconds. It's like, no, you're going to get burnt out. I'm talking about just consistently learning, making it a regular part of a routine. It's more important that you have longevity than you have like immediate results. You don't want to just do something for a little bit of time and then be like, oh, I'm tired. I didn't get what I studied every day, all day for weeks, and I'm not the best artist in the world yet. What happened? Let's go. No, you just be consistent. Do it every day, sure. You can set some like dramatic goal for yourself, but I'm not saying like be a madman and go crazy. You can do that. I'm more speaking to consistency. Just make it a regular part of your life. Is this all in 24 minutes? No, this is like an hour and 24 minutes. I'm also kind of like redoing parts that I had done before, which I thought I would want to keep. And then I was like, nah. It's like a witch's nose or something. So you're saying flee to the mountains and become a hermit? I don't know if you're talking to me. I did that. I did do that. I went a little too crazy living in the mountains when I was a hermit. I would never do that again. There's definitely a certain allure to it, but it gets old. I do feel like mentally, like a lot of people are hermits now. Like back in the day when I was living up in the mountains, I was a little bit weird and socially awkward. Now I feel like that's just fucking everybody. Just the phones turn people into total dummies. Everybody's just like some weird, awkward teenager again. Like, what the hell? What happened? The pandemic put us on equal ground. There is something to be said for like how odd it's like I remember I can empathize because I remember how I was when I came back to civilization after living in the mountains for a couple of years, where I just didn't see anybody for long stretches of time. Like I wouldn't see, like even when I lived around people, I would go like 3 months without like talking to anybody face to face. And I'm not like an antisocial person, but it made me crazy. This is such a weird armor set. Just this big face on the belly. Trying to make it make sense. It'll look a lot better once I paint on top of it. I gotta stay zoomed out so I can see it. I think that was the end of that. Let me get back to something else. Like I know this armor's meant to go like up like that on the shoulder. I don't know. Maybe I can make that look good. I don't think I can. With the bulbousness of these shoulders. Like I like the silhouette in the design on the wizardry card. Where I get that the arm would go up and push this up and it would like crunch against his face. But it wouldn't follow the shoulder if it were all bulbous like that, I don't think. Maybe I could. I just don't think it would be as bulbous. Because I like that look and I'm not willing to sacrifice that big round silliness. For realism. Because a bunch of the stuff in the design that's on the original Fiend card over here, it's not actually how that armor would work. And I would much rather stick to the way that that design looks than try to go for a realistic version of it. I also like that the head makes it look like he's just got a big gut. It's so weird. Once I have it all rendered up and I start adding color, I promise it's gonna look cool. It'll start to look real cool. The way that I have this process down now. Yeah, I wanted to make the helmet feel a little, just slightly more real in like the boring kind of way. Like make it a bit more mundane looking. Just to contrast how odd the face is, you know? Because if all the armor looked all fantasy and crazy, then I don't think the face would stand out as being bizarre. Right now, we get to rely on the skull in that face. If I make the armor too exciting, then the face isn't as exciting. The worst thing I'm going to do to it in terms of like designing stuff out is just going to be like rusting up some of the armor, adding like weathering and things to it. That's about it. That's the most fantastical thing. I'm not going to like go in and do a bunch of gilded armor or anything like that. This feels like the beginning of a YG song. It's not. What do I do when nothing's inspiring me? I definitely go through a little bit of that, but I would say more often than not nowadays, thankfully, I'm working on so many different things constantly that I always have an idea that I wish I was doing while I'm working on other stuff. So that backlog always exists in my brain. And I go, God, I wish I was doing this or this or this. But for me, I guess I don't know. Like, this is just me going back and like trying to find the beautiful like balance of mundane and fantastical in the old wizardry art. It's not a study, you know what I mean? It's not like a study where I'm copying it and doing like a one for one painting. It's a it's almost like, what would it be like? It's more like you're going to visit like a historical site and you're a reenactor. You know what I mean? It's like I'm like, I don't need to be out here redrawing this wizardry art in my own style. But this is sort of like me dressing up as a pioneer woman and baking a cake in an old cast iron pot. It's like I'm trying to get into the shoes of the person making this old wizardry art. Learn some stuff about design. It's a fun exercise. What makes it work? Why is it so cool? That's true, Knights. But you also want to do both. You want to be able to understand that stuff, but also you want to not feel restrained by that too. You want to do both. You want to be weird and wrong in your designs too, and then you want to like try and make it work. Because sometimes you can like not, it's like the idea of going to an atelier to learn how to be a better concept artist. It's like you're going to learn so much like foundational, like fundamental things, that it's definitely going to be beneficial. But then you have to come back to like imaginative works and like and find your footing there. So you want to do a mixture. It's like you want to study stuff and do a ton of things from imagination that are weird and broken too. Well, it's more or less like you can become too literal sometimes. Like I always notice that when I'm too focused on my studies is I'll over intellectualize certain aspects of what I'm doing in lieu of just doing something exciting. So you got to kind of find that balance between like what you know and what's just a good idea. Like what you know makes sense versus like just a good idea. Because you can get a little too literal with certain aspects of things and end up making, stuff unintentionally a little bit more boring than you would have liked. So finding that balance is important. Like I especially see that with kids, like having two children. It's like you see how they think and how like they're unencumbered by reality when they start to shoot ideas around, and part of you hears that and you go like, oh, when did I lose that? And you go, right, I mean, when I started to learn like what the rules of the world are, or perceived rules. It's like, so you have to ride that line. How many times have I heard a pure ref? Yeah, I've heard a pure ref, but I don't care about it. I've used it before and I went, eh. Eh. This is so weird. Alright, cool. How do I get away with the saturation in my work without making it go nuclear? Nuclear. Just good values, I guess. You can make anything work if you have solid values. Like this will be somewhat saturated. Okay, so if everything were the lines, then the face would look like that. So let me zoom way in so you can see. So that's like the line pass I just did, or like the brush pass. And then over top that, I'll paint like that. Then I'll do another slight cleanup in Krita and then move over into Photoshop. Cool. Alright, so that's what the finished lines will look like. The next stream will be me painting everything, like I did the skull up there. So you get to see how that whole rendering process goes. And after that, we'll do colors and paint it all. How much of that Krita brush gets painted out by the end? A lot, but it's still going to show through. I mean, mostly what I use the Krita brush for is the expression of the lines. So like, I'm able to execute a certain like energy and reading of the form using that brush, which I don't really get from just straight line drawing. And because I have that, then that base is so important, and it'll shine through in the rest of the process. It's just important to have that foundation laid, and once I have that foundation there, then it's pretty easy to make the rest of the painting look solid. A good drawing is, you know, for me, like 90%. Okay, thanks everybody for hanging out. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you next week. How far am I with Expedition 33? About halfway through. All right, everybody. Later.